It's time to get the latest on the green and gold as we go in the huddle. In the Huddle on the Woodward Radio Network. In the Huddle is brought to you by Mills Fleet Farm. Now, here's Bill Scott and Green Bay tight end DJ Williams.
And good evening, everyone, and welcome to Tanner's in Kimberly. Good to have you along. Our program brought to you by Mills Fleet Farm each and every week. And unfortunately, bad news. The Packers fall to the Colts 30-27. And I told you in a text earlier, I just did not see that coming.
Yeah, I guess after that first half, we didn't see it coming either. Yeah. And that was probably the problem. I guess everyone feels like we got a little bit complacent, a little bit comfortable with our lead. And
do you feel that way?
A little bit,
okay.
And I feel like that's just uncharacteristic of our team. And by the time we realized it was probably a little too late, or if not, that team had so much momentum and emotions going at the same time, and it became a real tough football game at the end. They came out on top.
Seeing comments on Twitter and in the newspaper, post-game comments from Josh Sitton and TJ Lang, that they're a little upset with the play calling. They want to run the ball. They felt that they felt when Benson went down and Alex Green came in that the play calling and the game plan changed. What do you think?
Tough to say. I'm not one to question the coach at any point in time.
Yeah.
I believe, well, for one, I've only been here a year or two. They can still,
You, as Justin Hull says, you don't have the big money contract yet.
Yeah,
so.
Pretty much. They can still book me a plane ticket home, so I just pretty much keep my mouth shut. But, I feel like you really can't complain with, if we want to run the ball, because I feel like we have the personnel and talent and ability to run the ball. And when it comes to passing, we have Aaron Rodgers and a, great group of receivers that can catch. And so either way we go, I feel like if we do our job in the pass game or run game, if we do what we're expected to do, we should be successful.
DJ, I'd tell you, if it were the same thing, one or two things, might be a little easier. But there was just a lot of mistakes in a lot of different areas in this football game.
Yeah, and it's disappointing, and especially going in today and watching the film from last night. We left so much out on the field, and just simple things that should be corrected within the game, and not having to wait after a loss and seeing it on film. Very disappointed atmosphere this morning at work, I would say, and I hate for it to come down to that, but I think that's maybe what we needed to kind of get our mind right and be like, okay, let's start playing football the way the Packers are supposed to play.
Yeah, the reward is big. The money you play for is big, but it's got to stink knowing that, when we go to work, we'll pretty much get the same thing. You may, if you don't like it, you can always switch jobs, but for the most part, you get the same thing, and you go to work, you do your thing. You guys are either way up here or you're way down here.
That's the way it works. I was thinking about that today. I was thinking about job. I don't know why I was just thinking about not having this job. But in our line of business, if you have a bad day of work, I don't know how many people watch football, like 10 million people are like, oh, that dude really sucked today, So it's just a big stage, and you have to be able to take the criticism when, you have games like that and learn from it and build from it and be able to perform each and every Sunday. And that second half, we did not do that as a football team.
Yeah, we'll talk about criticism a little bit later on in the show, too, because it's coming in all shapes and sizes from all over the place, and that's a topic all into itself. So we'll spend some time to start the second half hour of the show here tonight dealing with that. How about Reggie Wayne? This is a guy that they decided to, as they cleaned house, went younger. There's a few veteran players they kept around. Reggie Wayne was one of them, gave him a 3-year contract. And it turned out to be a pretty good move, not only for yesterday for the Colts, but just having a veteran like that around to help ease the quarterback, Andrew Luck, into the offense and do it with confidence is a big deal.
Yeah, he played a huge role, obviously, with how the team performed. And I think he really gave them a mental boost, as well as you mentioned, for a young quarterback, having confidence and throwing to a receiver and having a high chance of a completion. But if you notice, a lot of times after those big catches he made, how he acted like he has been there before, and this, is what we're supposed to do. And I think that just kind of went along with the rest of their team saying, we're professional football players and we need to make big plays, and that's what they did. Mm-hmm. And it, sucks saying that, while, I'm talking about an opponent, but you could see it from a great player like Wayne did, and he had a great game. Unfortunately, we were on the other end of it.
What did you think of Andrew Luck?
It was nice. I think years down the road, it's hard to talk and say what players are going to be like when I've been in this business only on my second year, but just playing sports, he seemed like a natural at the position, and I think years down the road, he's going to put his name in the hat for some of the elite quarterbacks.
Yeah, I thought I thought the Packer defense in the first half was really...
Sorry, I'm watching this Greg Jennings commercial on TV. Anybody else seeing this right now? I haven't seen this one.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Sorry, go ahead.
I think when you look at Luck in the first half, the hits he took and the shots he took, a lot of quarterbacks would have kind of just... That might have been the rest of their day. They might have melted a little bit, so to speak, for lack of a better term. I thought he came out. They kind of changed a few things. They got him out of the pocket, got him rolling out a couple of times. But it's a special quarterback when you take as many. I thought the Packers put a ton of hits on him in the first half.
I think what really stood out to me for Luck and showing his toughness and love for the game is when. One, I didn't agree with that personal foul that they called on Nick Perry when he came around the edge. I thought that was a clean hit. But he gave him his best shot. Took him off of his feet, planted him in the ground, and he got up and smiled at him. And that showed a lot about a quarterback. Nick Perry's a big dude, and he just got up and kept going. I thought that was pretty impressive.
Yeah, maybe he didn't know any better.
Yeah, maybe he was unconscious, or, a couple screws were loose. Who knows? He's probably out of it.
Packers just 4 of 13 on third downs, and that stat has kind of been up and down this year. And when it's good, it's really good, and when it yesterday obviously wasn't that good.
Yeah, we obviously talked about that today in our meetings, and where we are as a team this year and last year is not anywhere where they're not similar at all. We were big on third down last year. Big play opportunities were way up last year. We're trying to figure out what we need to do to get back in that groove. Not trying to have the same season as we did last year because we understand it's different and we can't do it now. But we need to figure out whatever it was that had us going. We need to figure it out to keep us going this year.
Yeah, you had a couple of catches yesterday.
Yeah,
I got out back involved, huh?
Got out there a little bit. It was fun, getting in a little groove. Kind of like that.
Yeah. I think you want me to put a good word in for you so that continues?
Yeah, throw one in there for me. I wouldn't mind.
Hey, TJ doesn't drop the ball like your other guy does.
Wow. I didn't say nothing.
What, do you people disagree or what? All right, we're going to take a break. We'll be back with more after this on the Woodward Radio Network. Back at Tanner's here in Kimberly. Transportation for our guests tonight and during the season brought to you by L&S Classic Limousine Service. Personal professional service for all occasions. Call Lenny or Sue at 920-730-8297 for reservations. That's, again, 920-730-8297. Lenny is here. Lenny, how you doing, buddy?
What's up, Lenny?
Atta boy. Back with my co-host DJ Williams in the Huddle, brought to you by Mills Fleet Farm. It is time to meet our guest tonight in his second season out of Arkansas State. Let's meet safety M.D. Jennings. So one was in Arkansas, one was in Arkansas State. How far are you guys apart?
Jones, I would say about 2 hours. Okay. Maybe more, less, 2.5.
About 3.
About 3. I didn't go there much, so there's not much in Jonesboro.
Did you guys, did you play at all?
We've never actually played any we've never played any in-school state or in-state school. I said that all backwards. My bad.
In-state school.
You might want to. They might want to start now, though.
Might get a couple wins if we did that.
Oh, hold up.
Hey, I just wanted to mention we forgot all about this. Some of the biggest news of the day. The injury news came out this afternoon. B.J. Raji still had his foot in a boot, but he does have a chance to play on Sunday, according to Mike McCarthy. Jermichael Finley, unfortunate for you, has a chance to come back and play on Sunday. You know what, people? I'm not going to put up with this anymore.
Yeah.
They're all booing me every time I dissed your Michael Finley.
I got these headphones on. I can't hear.
You know, when you walk through a crowded room and you find out how many Jermichael Finley fans there are, because everybody's always talking about how many drops he has all the time. Yeah. You know, if there's 10 people, 9 of them are out to get the guy. And I finally found the one. I mean, is this the J. Michael fan club in here or something?
I will say, in J. Mike's defense,
I'm just teasing him. I'm trying to prop you up, is what I'm trying to do.
I got to be a good teammate too. Talk him up too.
All right. So he's got a chance to come back. He had a shoulder injury, and then the other one is Cedric Benson, and they've ruled him out already for Sunday's game. So. According to the coach this afternoon. So they did say that it doesn't appear to be serious long term, but they didn't think he's going to be able to play on Sunday.
That's what I heard. And it's very unfortunate. He was a big part of our offense. But on the bright side, you saw Alex Green and how he performed. So it'll be good having him in the backfield.
Alex Green and James Starks will likely get an opportunity now to come back. And so. That's why you have Starks on the roster, and that's why Alex Green is there too.
And everyone's there.
Everybody's got to be able to step up and play. All right, it's linebackers Jamari Lattimore and Vic So'oto, who's no longer with the Packers, and M.D. Jennings, the 3 players that made this football team as undrafted free agents last year. And there's a lot of teams that I don't think they spend as much time with undrafted free agents. Not as many make the team. This team gives everybody an equal opportunity. And there's always, Ted Thompson, since he's been here, there's always been 2, 3, 4 guys that make it every year. Were you aware of that?
Yes, I was. You can go back to Tremont Williams, Sam Shields, Frank Zumbo. Those guys have came in as undrafted guys and played huge roles on this team.
When you and your agent were looking for a team to sign with, is that one of the attractive parts about the Packers?
Yeah, the Packers, they believe in, drafting, developing guys, finding guys, undrafted guys, and bringing them in, giving them an opportunity to play.
So they really, you spent 15 games active last season and did a great job on special teams. They liked the job you did so much that through the off-season workout program and in through the mini camps and then through training camp, they basically had you penciled in to give you a really solid opportunity to be the starting safety back there.
Yeah, they gave me an opportunity to come in the camp, as well as everyone else to come in and compete for that starting job. And, it was left up to our play in training camp to see who won that starting job.
I get the sense, DJ, that this team this year, more than any that I remember in recent history, and you've only been around for one other year to witness it, but this year more so than last year, I kind of get the sense that this coaching staff is throwing the jobs out on a weekly basis, and if you perform well, you've got a chance to be up and have a chance to make a significant contribution.
I think that just shows the talent in our roster. You have 11 starters on offense and defense, and you have guys that are very close behind them to be able to, or that are capable to do the same job. You think about what you just said about MD, and how, he was undrafted and went from that to probably being a part of the most controversial play call in NFL history, where he stepped up at the crucial moment and made the big-time play. So, there's talent in our roster from top to bottom, and I think that's a very good team to be a part of. Very tough and very competitive, but a good problem to have.
So Jonesboro is where?
Arkansas
State is?
Jonesboro, Arkansas.
How'd you get to Jonesboro?
That was my only Division I offer. Okay. So I took it and ran with it.
Yeah. Hey, if somebody's willing to pay the freight, you go take. Now, you were academically a genius, a whiz kid, right?
I wouldn't say all that.
He's pretty smart, though. He was he was fifth in his class.
Wow.
And receiving the U.S. National Minority Leadership Award in 2005. Now, anything, I don't know what all that means. I don't know what all that means, but it just always sounds impressive, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. Some people might say he just paid attention in class.
That's impressive.
Who was it, Hall? Who was it that said Ohio State quarterback?
What did he say? Something about we go to school to play football.
Yeah,
what do you say?
Yeah, we go to school to play football. Why do we need to go to class?
That's what I like. I like that. That's how we do it at Arkansas.
So,
That's how we get it done.
So I take it you skipped a class or two from time to time.
I don't skip classes. I never.
You just don't go.
Depending on how cold it was outside, or if it rained. Can't get this wet.
Yeah. All right. You went into the off-season training camp again as a player that the Packers were looking for, to step in and play some safety. And really, unfortunately for the Packers, Nick Collins was not able to come back and return. But that really opened the door. I bet competition was pretty good back there.
Yeah, it was a lot of competition going on back there, but, competition brings out the best in everyone. Throughout all the competition, we were all still teammates and willing to help each other out throughout the process.
So what did the first time you saw Charles Woodson, did you say anything to him?
The first time I met Charles, it was all the guys hadn't got back from the lockout yet, and I walked in the weight room, and Charles was in the weight room. I was kind of starstruck for a moment. I just stood there. Too.
Well, how much time we got? I got time for Charles.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I'm gonna tell you how Charles does his thing in the locker room. I heard a story, and this is from Graham Harrell. I'm putting him out there, but Charles, he's been around a while, and he kind of he does what he wants.
Yeah.
And if he shows up to practice, great. If he doesn't, it's more of a surprise if you see him at practice. All right, so anyway, he's sitting in his locker room, right? And one of the defensive coaches comes to him and asks him if he can show up to practice. Capers is putting in a new defense. I'm not trying to bug you, but do you mind just coming? You ain't got to practice. You can just watch. And Woodson said, oh, I'm good. And the coach was like, okay, my bad. I'm sorry. I'll tell him, we'll go over it in the meeting room. My bad. I'm sorry, Charles. That's when you got it. You know what I mean? I want to know what I need to do to get like that.
You're kidding, right? That's a true story?
No, I'm not kidding. He runs that thing.
Holy smokes.
He's the man. He makes plays, though.
Yeah, he didn't make as money as yesterday we would like. I mean, maybe he needs to start going to those practices again.
He's been at all the practices this year. I can't say that.
He said this year. I like that.
Obviously, I love the guy too. He's he shoots from the hip. He tells it the way it is. He backs up, his talk. Not that he's a smart aleck. He's not. He's very serious and
very respected.
Absolutely.
When he talks at the team meetings, everyone shuts up and turns around.
Yeah.
He has the respect from everyone on the team.
Well, that is it is really fun to cover him as a media guy, but he's a great football player.
He is.
Absolutely. All right, we're going to take a break. We'll come back and we'll find out what's going around the rest of the National Football League. More in the Huddle after this on the Woodward Radio Network. Back with more in the Huddle. Tanner's Sports Bar and Grill in Kimberly. Good to have you along here this evening. Packers falling to the Colts 30-27, and we'll have to take their 2-3 record to Houston on Sunday nights. And I think probably a lot of you guys will be watching, paying a little attention to the Houston game tonight.
We'll check it out a little bit tonight. Yeah. Monday Night Football. See what they're all about. We obviously know they're a good team, and we'll probably watch it way more in depth Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, all the way up to Sunday.
Yeah, well, you get the you get the actual game clips.
Yeah, it's a lot better. You see a lot more stuff with the stuff we watch.
Yeah, compared to you watch it on TV and you don't even see all 11 guys on offense or defense.
No, we got the big wide film view. We got it all.
Yeah, they just put the good-looking guys in the camera. And
they do. Keep people like me the off screen.
Cool. You guys are good-looking guys. Don't sell yourself short. Come on. NFC North, Vikings beat the Titans 30-7. Bears knock off the Jaguars 41-3. Minnesota and Chicago both 4-1 now. Are the Vikings for real?
I guess so.
No.
I feel like it's still way, way too early to figure out who's for real and who's not for real. And MD and I were talking about this earlier. It's the NFL. There's great players on every team, and I know it's cliche saying any given Sunday, but it really is any given Sunday. Any team can win.
Yeah.
And
well, the Packers are proof of that. If you look back to the year they won the Super Bowl, they barely got into the playoffs. They needed help in the last week to get in. Mm-hmm. Had a 10-6 record. Had to play all three of their playoff games prior to the Super Bowl on the road, so they didn't have a home playoff game. But it's really who's hot at the right moment.
Now, like the Giants.
Yeah. Now you can't totally mess it up so that your record's so bad you don't get in. You got to be able to get in. But if you get in and you're hot at the right time, Packers proved it. The Giants proved it. You're right.
I'll tell you what's huge is divisional games too. They're going to pan out. We got to win our divisional games. We got to win every game, but
and they're all coming up stacked one right after another in the end too.
A good stretch for the fans.
Yeah. Kansas City fell to 1-4 and lost their quarterback with a concussion. When Matt Castle was on the ground, and from what I understand, he was knocked out or in such a state that he didn't know what was going on. Fans cheering while he was on the ground. It really upset Chiefs tackle Eric Winston so much that he went on a little rampage of his own in the post-game locker room interviews and chastised the Chiefs fans and said, he was embarrassed. He's never seen anything like it. What did you think? Did you first of all hear Winston's comments?
I saw it on the internet this morning, and I can agree with what he was saying. With teams, with a starting player going out or an opposing player, you don't want to see fans cheering, to see someone on the ground hurt.
Fans, home game.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
You know what? It would be awfully difficult because there were a number of them. It would be awfully difficult to get them all out of there, but. Wouldn't you love to go make a few examples if you're security? I mean, should fans have that right to do that, to go that low?
I don't know. I was thinking about that. I saw that on TV, and I was looking at a couple of tweets that T.J. Lang was tweeting out with some people. And
I saw those too.
It's just I understand fans get – even who else was doing it? D'Angelo Williams, running back for the Panthers. Just – comments that they made about fans who are giving them such a hard time for them not performing the way that the fans want them to perform. And I know there's a fine line of being able to do your job as professional, but there are bad days, and they do come, and it comes with everybody and everything that they do. If it's football, if it's working in the office, if it's a kid on the playground, playing basketball. I mean, everyone has their bad day, and I feel like sometimes the fans get a little bit too serious on some of the players, and you see a lot of comments of players coming out saying, you know what, if you want me to block Julius Peppers this kind of way, why don't you come and you try it and see how it works out? I mean, we do have a very tough job, and it's very hard when fans like that really criticize the players for messing up, because everyone messes up. And I feel like we're very fortunate in Green Bay that we don't have those fans. I feel like our fans are usually behind us, yes, and support us in everything we do. Now, when we start messing up a lot, they may be like, come on now.
Go lose 2 more games in a row and then see how those Green Bay fans are.
But so far from what I've experienced, the fans here are very supportive, and they back their Packers all the time.
Mason Crosby feeling the heat a little bit today, too. And I saw a tweet of his, and he basically said, you can say whatever you want to say about me. Keep it semi-clean because there are kids that read this stuff.
Yeah.
So I thought his message was pretty good. He's not afraid to take a little abuse.
Yeah.
But keep it respectable. All right, are you over the Seattle thing?
Yes, I'm over.
You thought this was going to come a lot sooner, didn't you?
Yeah, I was waiting on it to come a lot sooner. Yeah, I'm over it though. You just had to put it behind me and just move on. There's nothing we can do about it now.
Yeah. But you really, I mean, come on.
I'm over it. I'm over it.
I mean,
it's all about the Texans now.
I mean, you got to think about what people like LeBron James were like saying, MD got that ball.
Yeah.
I mean, that must be pretty cool.
Yeah.
I mean, I know we're professionals.
Well, even though you didn't get credit for it, you certainly made a name for yourself. Everybody knows who you are now.
I wasn't seeking attention or anything. I was just trying to make a play for the team.
And you did make a play. And Packer fans know that. And most of the football world and sporting world knows that, too. Now, did you hear that the official was interviewed on CBS pregame show this weekend? Did you hear about that?
What did he say?
He basically said that, well, you know what he said?
He said after watching it, he felt like it should have been an interception. And I felt like after he had time to watch the replay, he would feel that way. So I guess everyone except Golden Tate feels that it was an interception now.
Yeah, well, that's not what I heard, because I read this morning that he said that he would do it if he had it to do all over again. He'd make the same call.
No.
Yeah.
The ref said that?
Not the referee that looked at it under the hood, but the guy in the end zone that made the call said he would make the same call again.
How you feel about that?
I don't know. I don't know about that one. I just had to give him the benefit of the doubt.
There was no doubt. He left no doubt.
No,
but
there really wasn't.
It's old news.
All right, the Saints quarterback Drew Brees passing Johnny Unitas last night with at least one touchdown pass now in 48 consecutive games, so he's the all-time record holder. The NFL obviously went out and suspended his coach, Sean Payton, the GM, Mickey Loomis, and Joe Vitt for 6 games, and yet they were allowed to come back. Were you surprised? Should they have been allowed back?
Of course. I think they understand how big of a moment that is, and you heard claps here for Drew Brees. I mean, he's a stand-up guy on and off the field, and I think everyone across the country who is a football fan knows that and respect Drew Brees to the utmost. And I think there was no question that they had to let the coaches be there to share that moment with him.
Don't you think the NFL is sending a mixed message?
I can't call it. Yeah, I can't call it. I think that was they didn't have a choice but to let them watch that game.
Why not?
I don't know.
I mean, that's a very special moment.
I can't call it.
So he could have his mom there for goodness sakes.
My mom would have been there for sure.
All right. I guess. I mean, I think that the league can be. I thought the suspensions were a little much to begin with. And so, therefore, when you go all out, is it saying, are they basically admitting, is the league, is Roger Goodell admitting that he was too hard to begin with? That maybe, all right, it's like, a little kid. You punish your kid, you ground him for a week, and pretty soon it's down to 2 days. That's what I felt like the NFL did with Drew Brees and the coaches.
MD?
It's hard to say, I try not to get it, think about what those guys in New York are thinking or doing. So, it's hard to say what they're doing with their decision making.
All right. So now that you're, has everybody besides me stopped asking you about the Seattle thing now?
No, people. I get
Wherever
it,
you go, you get
everywhere I go. I went in the AT&T store today and had to give the guy my ID, and he looked at it and he was like, "You're the guy that caught the ball." And he called some guys out the back, and I had to talk about the play all over again.
How long do you think that's going to continue?
That's a lifetime thing.
I feel like. I hope not. I guess I just got to go out there and make a few more plays so people will forget about that play.
Yeah, pretty soon you're going to be telling your grandkids about that. Your own kids and your grandkids. All right, that's MD Jennings. DJ Williams, my co-host, with me every Monday night here for the remainder of the season, and we'll come back, and it's our email time, the Granite Peak email segment that is coming up in 3 minutes from right now. More after this on the Woodward Radio Network. And we continue from Tanner's here in Kimberly in the Huddle with DJ Williams and our guest tonight, MD Jennings, brought to you by Mills Fleet Farm. It is time now for our email segment, brought to you by Granite Peak. Granite Peak Ski Area is gearing up for an incredible ski season. Season passes are now on sale. If you ski or ride 6 times or more, the season pass is your best value. New this season, Granite Peak welcomes Dasher. It's a new high-speed quad chairlift serving the Western runs. The best just keeps getting better. Visit skigranitepeak.com. A lot of emails flying in this week, and Justin Hull is here to tell us about them.
Yeah, inthehuddleshow.com. That's the website. You can go there, submit your email questions every week. And we'll start with this one from Tom in Madison. I like it because I was thinking the same thing yesterday. What was the stuff all over the field?
Some confetti stuff. That blew my mind. I mean, after every touchdown, they act like they won the Super Bowl. They just, if they scored a touchdown, they would just, confetti would fall from the ceiling and just lay on the field.
I guess after a 2-14 year a year ago,
a touchdown is like a Super Bowl. I mean, unfortunately, they beat us, so there was a lot of confetti on the field. Stupid.
All right. The next question's coming from Zach and Kakan, and if you guys ever question how much research Packer fans do, I think this one has a lot to prove with that. It's for you, MD. What was it like to play varsity high school baseball while in 7th grade?
Nice.
Get out of here.
I did. It was a good experience.
Impressive.
I was real short and I was fast, so the coaches would tell me to get in the batter box, squat down real low so I wouldn't have a strike zone. And they would walk me, or I would bunt the ball, get on base. I was the leadoff man, so I would get on base, and the person behind me would just hit it and I'd run, or I would steal bases. But it was a great experience playing with those guys, and it helped me mature a lot.
Were you from a small town, or was it just, I mean, you were that good?
Small town, and I feel like I was real good in baseball also.
Any opportunity? I mean, you mentioned only one football scholarship. Was there any baseball opportunity?
I could have played junior college. I didn't play in the all-star game for football in high school, but I did in baseball. So, and I was sitting around looking, and I have more plaques on the wall for baseball than I do football. So,
What position?
shortstop, second base, and all over the outfield.
Okay.
All right. Next question coming from Ann and Oshkosh. Worst conditions, in your opinion, to play a football game in? What are the worst conditions you could play a game in?
Lambeau Field. Gee, I mean, it's that cold. You don't understand how cold it gets. I mean, a lot of people are in I mean, you got some people out there with their shirts off. Hats off to you. But being hit by somebody while it's that cold, it's bad news.
How about UMD? Do you want to save your teammate there?
I can agree with him on the cold weather, but just surface, I would say Soldier Field.
Yeah, Chicago.
They had a bad surface, so I would have to say Soldier Field.
It gets cold.
I love Lambeau.
How about on the flip side of that? I mean, if you could have any weather to play in game in, what are you picking?
I don't know. San Diego, San Francisco.
Nah, I had to say
Lambeau.
Like opening day, Lambeau. Opening day.
Day. Oh, I can do opening day. That's good stuff. Yeah, great weather.
All right, we'll get to our next question coming from Tina in Fond du Lac. Since it is October, Halloween month, what was your favorite Halloween candy growing up?
Tootsie Rolls.
That's not a Halloween candy.
Yes, it is.
Candy corn. That's where it's at.
I'll give them Tootsie Rolls.
Tootsie Rolls.
Tootsie Rolls, man.
Whatever
When
they
you
throw in your
went
bag
trick-or-treating, your bag was about, 40% full of Tootsie Rolls?
Candy corn. Then
Tootsie
Reese's.
Rolls.
Reese's.
Then maybe a Three Musketeer. Snickers. Then maybe a Tootsie Roll.
Tootsie Rolls.
I'm curious. Okay, I got to throw this one out here because I know you and your Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and Batman, but best Halloween costume growing up was what?
Batman. Yeah, no question.
Batman.
Any day of the week.
Both were Batman. All right, we got one more question here from Jeremy in Kaukauna. How often does your family get to come to games?
It depends on what time of the year they want to come. Usually when it's cold, they don't like to come to Lambeau very often.
Opening day?
Yeah. So they like opening day just like me.
I had to agree with DJ. Everyone always said, we got to catch you the early part of the season. Once November, December hit, they'll say we'll see you in the off season.
You guys have a hard time getting. I mean, I know you get two, and then you can buy two more. Is that the way it is?
Yeah.
Still. Mm-hmm. So is that enough?
At the end of the year, yeah, it's plenty.
Yeah.
Early in the year,
it's plenty.
you get
Yeah.
more. So then you're running around trying to buy other teammates.
Yeah. Pretty much.
Yeah.
But even playoffs, I mean, they still don't want to come up. It's that cold. That's crazy. So if anybody out here wants tickets, holler at me. We'll do a trivia thing for a game or something like that. We'll add that on to the show. That'll be good.
Have you had like a big request anywhere where you went somewhere and there was family or friends that wanted to go, where all of a sudden you need to come up with like 20 tickets?
Usually somewhere close home.
Yeah.
St. Louis,
Atlanta.
Kansas City, and then
Now, what do you get on the road?
You get two. You get the option to buy two.
Okay.
You don't get any free. But after that, I would think Driver, he has a lot of family down in Houston. You got to think about it's $100 a ticket, and he was looking for at least 40. So go for it. That's all you. Not me.
Well,
people ask me for tickets. Good luck.
Yeah, when you're dancing with the stars, you
can do that. Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, and everybody comes through for you.
I guess so.
All right. All right, we'll come back and we'll find out who our winner is of our email segment, sponsored by Granite Peak. That's our Justin Hull. And we'll be back to give you our winner and our final segment. It's coming up after this on the Woodward Radio Network. Back at Tanner's and Kimberly, good to have you along here. In the Huddle continues, brought to you by Mills Fleet Farm. Back with DJ Williams and M.D. Jennings, and it is time now to find out who our winner is tonight in our Granite Peak Ski Package email segment. Let's go right back out to Justin Hull.
Yeah, just a reminder again, inthehuddleshow.com. That's the website each week. You can go there and submit your questions so we can give them to DJ and our guest. And we'll go with Ann in Oshkosh this week with the conditions question. I figure snow and skiing fits right along, so we'll toss her the ski package.
All right, congratulations, and we'll do it again next week. I'm going to ask you guys about, and I guess, MD, you more in particular because you play on the defensive side of the ball. I always find it difficult to believe that a team can be a great tackling team if they don't tackle live, and yet we know in the NFL you can't afford to tackle live because you get your guys hurt in practice, and that doesn't do you any good either. So how do you become a good tackling team?
You know, tackling starts with the mindset. You gotta want to get the guy on the ground, and all we can do at practice is, you know, go through the fundamentals of tackling. But on Sunday, it comes down to wanting to get the guy on the ground. And
so you think the teams that aren't as good at tackling teams probably just don't have enough guys that really have the will to be.
Yeah, a lot of times you see guys, you know, waiting on the next guy to make the tackle, and you know, not taking the proper angle or playing with, you know, bad pad level and things of that nature.
Yeah, because I look at let's just say, for example, you going against John Kuhn. Or one of those big bruising fullbacks, and they got the ball and they're coming at you, or a tight end. The tight ends the way they are in the league today with DJ and it can be a punishing situation to try to bring somebody like that down, to hit them square and that kind of thing. And I mean, what do you weigh?
Like 195.
Yeah, 195. And what do you weigh?
260.
So I don't know about 260.
230. It's all right.
Finley goes more than that, though, doesn't he?
We're about the same.
Yeah, are you really?
Yeah, we're close.
Okay.
Pretty close.
Well, so you're giving up 35 pounds. There has to be a desire to want to hit somebody right there.
Yeah, you got to want to go get him on the ground, knowing that it might hurt, but, just have to take the pain as part of the job.
It works both ways because, they got to practice on tackling. They don't have a chance to practice tackling someone. We don't have a chance to break tackles. So it works both ways.
Call it yaks, right?
Yeah, a couple
yards
yak yards. Those are the good yards. Yeah, yards after catch.
Yeah,
you didn't catch Bill saying it. It's good stuff.
I do pay attention every once in a while. That used to be a big, because I think there was a year where the Packers wide receivers, by far and away, led the league in yak yards after the catch. So
we do it.
Yeah, that was really good. So there are some that are speculating with the Packers, the Packers not having Joe Philbin, that the transition period to Tom Clements, and Tom is doing a great job, but the transition from one to the other that, inconsistencies in the way things are done and presented and so forth, that could be one of the small things in terms of details as to why things are a little up and down offensively. Do you buy into that?
I don't buy into it at all. I feel like since Joe has left, not taking anything away from Joe, but probably complimenting him in the way he handled things as offensive coordinator, it's the exact same makeup with Tom in there. And our coaching staff does a great job of being very consistent in what they do, but what it comes down to, it, to be honest, is just how we play on the field. They can't go out there and catch the ball. They can't go out there and block. They can't go out there and tackle. That's left up to us, and they prepared us and gave us every opportunity to succeed, and we just need to go out in the field and do our job, and we understand that's what it comes down to, and I think that's why we haven't been as successful as we are now, but it's starting to show up, and we're acknowledging it, and I think we're going to just keep growing.
You guys haven't spent a lot of time on Houston yet. What do you think of Arian Foster's?
He's a great back. He's a great running back.
He's one of those guys that's yards after the hit. He doesn't go down very easy, does he?
No, he doesn't.
I ain't worried about it.
You don't have to be.
Not to be.
Not your department.
I will say before we get off this show, I'll be in trouble if I don't say anything. But me and MD kind of have a little bit of common ground here because we got some listeners back home listening. I told a while ago that my sister's getting married. Well, she's getting married to like one of his best friends from back home.
Is that right?
Yeah, and I know what kind of guy this is. or what he's like off the field. It makes me a little worried for my sister back home listening.
He's a great guy.
I'm kidding.
And have you told your sister about that?
I'm just kidding. I mean, they do call him Walt Baby Love. I don't know what kind of name Walt Baby Love is, but if she likes it, I guess it's cool.
Baseball playoffs. Are you guys followers? Are you baseball? Well, you're a baseball fan. You're good at it. You still follow it?
Not as much as I did in the past. I'm a Yankees fan. It may not sit well with a lot of people, but it is what it is.
Yeah. What do you like about the Yankees?
I was always a Derek Jeter fan.
Okay. Well, he's a great guy to follow.
Bandwagon fan. Yeah. He just goes with the team that wins.
How about you?
I don't like baseball too much.
What do you like?
But if I do, I mean, I've been to a couple games, and the Brewer games are pretty awesome. Yeah. Brew Crew. Let's do this thing.
What do you like besides football?
Playing the piano.
Sports now.
Sports. Curling.
You could probably get the. Oh, you like curling?
Yeah, you seen that?
Absolutely. I did it for a year.
I'm not buying into that brushing on the ice. That doesn't do anything. I don't know.
You don't believe
That's just show.
All right.
Yeah, it's all about the push.
Hey, guys, good luck against Houston on Sunday night, and bring home a victory. We'll talk about it on Monday night.
Right on.
MD, best of luck to you. Thanks for coming out.
Thanks for having me.
MD Jennings and DJ Williams for Evan Stanek, our engineer, Reggie Rizzu, our producer, Justin Hull. I'm Bill Scott. So long, everybody. This has been In the Huddle on the Woodward Radio Network.